Okay, welcome back to Tony Talks. I haven't posted in a while because the breakup series was supposed to be stages, where the last couple of times I went through these stages, they happened a little quicker and they happened, maybe not quicker, but just in a different order. The reason I didn't post recently, or like last week or any of that, was mainly depression, but also because I was still going through one of the stages that I want to talk about today. As well as the fact that these stages are maybe just pertaining to me. They don't pertain to everyone. I've seen other people go through them, but in a way, these stages pertain to just me. And I thought to myself, why would people want to hear about a breakup stage that I go through? And then I thought to myself, I don't care. I didn't make this YouTube for everyone else. I made it for me to talk about how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, what's going on with my life, and maybe someone out there feels the same way. So they also relate to the problem. None of this stuff said is factual. Not one bit is factual unless stated otherwise. It is all in my own mind, in my own memories, in my own experiences, so don't take this to the bank. Today I'm going to talk about the stage of hating them after a breakup. Because I can't remember exactly what I said, but there's like 4 stages. There's first, you hate yourself. You doubt everything you do because nobody ever wants to be with you because this person left you, so blah blah blah. Go watch the first video. Then there's the hating them, which now you need a scapegoat for why you feel this way. So you apply everything to hatred on them. The third one is when you truly finally give up on pursuing them and you give up on feeling sorry for yourself and you just give up on all the negative things that come with a breakup and you finally have the courage and the tenacity and just everything to move on and better yourself. And the fourth one is you finally can put yourself out there. You can start dating again. So anyway, this is the angry stage. The hatred of them. But what I like to call it is the angry stage. The pure rage. The everything is just awful. It's just you're angry because of everything that went down. Because the more you hate them, the more angry you get about your hatred for them. If that makes sense. I originally thought that I was over the angry stage when I made the first video. I thought, okay, I'm getting over this. We're good to continue with these videos and we're good to carry on with the healthiness of this breakup. But something always brings you back. If it's finding out that they're with somebody else, which I did, or if it's just maybe you're trying to be friends and they don't text you back the way you want them to or the way they used to. You can tell that you're not friends anymore. They're just kind of hanging on to you for the sake of hanging on to you. That makes me angry. That made me angry. And this past month, I completely lost myself. I'm not even going to go into details about what I did. Let's just say it was bad. It wasn't who I was. I literally forgot who I was for like at least a week well, I wasn't happy for a month, but I lost myself for at least a week. I just was filled with anger. Let me tell you why. After the breakup, there's not a whole lot to think about. You only think about why they left you and how could they leave you and you did so well, but why did they do this to you? But there's one thought that resonates in my mind. Maybe it's my age, maybe it's my hormones, maybe it's whatever, but there is one thought that resonates in my mind. Who's fucking them now? Who's giving them everything that you used to? Every time I would think about any kind of sexual thing was just like, oh, my ex is doing that with somebody else. Like I couldn't listen to music because most of the music out there is fuck that bitch, slap that hoe, I'm gonna take your girlfriend. Like it's bullshit, okay? The music nowadays is garbage, but that's all you hear, especially when you're angry. All you hear is somebody's doing that to my ex. It wasn't I didn't reach my full point of anger until I found out that a lot of that was true. But until that point, it was more or less just hanging on to the fact that maybe there's some hope. Maybe we can get together. Maybe she's just doing her thing and she just wants some space, but she's not actually fucking around or being with other guys. Like, I'm not gonna have to worry about that. For the longest time, it was just one of those hope things. It was like, I don't know if I can keep carrying on this hope, because if they fuck somebody, I don't know how are you supposed to. This is like the most emasculating thing that you can think of. Somebody else fucking the girl that you love. Most emasculating thing. I can't think of anything else. That's all I think of when I think you want to take a guy down a peg. You show him that you're fucking his girl. His girl. Obviously, if you break up, you're not in a relationship anymore, so that's not his girl or whatever. But that's the most emasculating thing I can think of, and that's why anger is such a huge fucking part of this in this stage. Just everything is revolved around that she's not with you anymore. She's with some other guy. When I was doing a monologue way back when, I was having trouble. I was going over my last breakup. Not this breakup, but the last breakup. And it kind of ended the same way. It ended the same way. We broke up out of fucking nowhere. A week later, she is with another guy. Or like a week, 2 weeks, whatever. If it's anything more than, or anything less than a month, I think it's too much. She was with another guy after like 2 weeks, and I was going through a really bad stage. And I said to myself, like, because I'm like sort of an actor, I said to myself, like, why don't I just channel this energy into a monologue? The thing with monologues is like the energy isn't always there unless you relive it. So this is like a month later that I tried actually refilming this monologue and reshooting this monologue, and it was so hard for me to feel that emotion because I had done a lot of healing since then. It was not as bad as it started off. Mind you, I made the monologue after the breakup. Sorry, my cat is just jumping on different places. So one of my buddies said to me, he was the cameraman, he said, you have to think about it this way. She has a new dick. She got a new dick. In the simplest form. Doesn't matter about feelings, doesn't matter about if they're spending time together, it doesn't matter about any of that. She is now fucking somebody else. She got a new dick to be with. In the simplest forms, that fucking hurts. And that is what can bring you back to that angry emotion. All you think about is that. She's with some other guy, she's with some other dick. So yeah, I was angry. All last month I was angry. I couldn't listen to music, couldn't watch movies, couldn't fucking do anything. I started trying to read to try to get my feelings back, and a sex scene came up and I was like, oh, like I couldn't do it. It was ridiculous how angry I was. And one day I was so angry that it was maybe 2 days, I hadn't eaten in 36 hours. I maybe had some water, I didn't have any drinks, other than water, I didn't have food, nothing. 36 hours went by. And I work a pretty, like, not a heavy job, but like I drive around a lot. So like the road can get boring and I have to pay attention to the road. Usually I would need a coffee or something to keep me going. Nothing. The only thing that kept me fueled was my anger. And it was so weird, I could feel it. I could literally feel it like coursing through my veins, like the anger. Just like, and like I would be, every thought would be something bad, something she's with him right now. That's why she doesn't want to talk to me. That's why, like, just, I was so freaking angry. So angry. And it wasn't until, like that anger never went away until late at night when I finally sat down to myself and I had a chat with one of her friends, and we agreed that I wanted an apology for everything that happened. Was never gonna get that. So he said, like, you're kind of being a hypocrite, whatever, like you can't demand the apology if you can't give one. So I said, I went and took a long shower and I had some time to myself, and I said to myself, he's absolutely right. And you know what? If they're never gonna give me a fucking apology, if they're never gonna feel bad for how I felt about the whole situation that happened, then an apology, which usually means something, doesn't have to mean anything. It can be a source to get the fuck out of there and move on with my life. So that's what I did. I gave an apology. I reversed everything that I may have fucked up, and then I got the fuck out of there. And it's been a week and a half now, maybe a week, and I've been good. I've been really good, because there's no longer that sense of hope that we're gonna get back together. There's no longer that anger that she's with somebody else. Because great, when I was angry, it was because it was the girl that I loved. But I don't love her anymore. I don't want her in my life anymore. So now that shit doesn't make me angry. Now she's just some random girl with another guy. It's off my hands. And you may think, oh, you're making this video because you're emotional and blah, blah, blah. You still have feelings. No, I'm actually fucking good. Of course I care about her. Of course I want her to do good, but I want everyone to do good in life. It's not like this passion that I had. And it's the passion that I had that turned into anger. And I have so much passion. Like I don't really let people in that well. So when I do let somebody in, it fucking sucks when they leave. So any of that passion that I had, any of that love that I gave them, turns into just a red hot ball of rage. So much anger. I guess this became a little personal, really personal. But my point is, this stage, the angry stage, it's very important. It sucks, and it could be the longest. For me, you think it's gonna end after a week, but it came back. Just those little things that remind you of everything. It just brings back that anger. It's always waiting. It's like a sleeping anger. It's waiting to come back. So as soon as you start healing, the minute you bring something out about yourself or about what happened or everything, that anger comes back and all those negative thoughts come flooding back, and it's very toxic, and it can turn you into a new person if you can't deal with it. Luckily, I pulled away from it after I did some things I'm not proud of, but it happened, and I did pull away from it. I'm sure that some people go insane after a breakup and they completely lose themselves because of what happens, but I'm telling you, the anger that you feel, it is only temporary. It's only there until you realize there's no actual reason to continue your life being angry. You leave that anger where it should be, with the bitch that left you. Another thing that makes you angry is the betrayal. Especially if you're trying to be friends, you notice that they're not texting you the way they should have. Or not they should have, they used to. So the one thing that plays in your head is it's not because they just don't want to talk to you, it's because there's another guy that she's giving her attention to. And that makes you angry. There's the betrayal to yourself, where you're angry because maybe you blame yourself at this point. It kind of comes from the first stage. You take everything from the first stage, bring it into the second stage, and all of that contributes to the anger you feel. You feel betrayed by them, you feel betrayed by you feel betrayed by just the world. And all of that becomes anger, and that anger turns into a hatred of them because they did this to you. They made you feel this way. So let's hate them. You leave that anger behind. And then that brings you into the third stage, which is finally letting go of everything. I will talk about hopefully very soon, because I'm not really struggling with my emotions or trying to put this out there anymore. I mean, the biggest problem, the reason why I didn't put this out there was because this is probably my most damaging, personal reflection. Because I wasn't who I wanted to be. I wasn't who I am. It was dangerous. Yeah. Anger sucks, but it's a big part of breakups. The best way to pull yourself out of it is to realize you don't need to be angry in the future. I feel like I jumped all over the place there and lost my own train of thoughts, but that was pretty good. I just kept talking. So you know what? thank you for hearing me out. Thanks for coming out to the second episode of the Breakup series. And I don't know, the 7th, 8th episode of Tony Talks. Okay, my monitor just died, so it scared me. I thought the recording died. Do you want me to continue with the Breakup series and wrap it up? Or do you want me to go in between with like some other stuff, some dating stories, some funny things that happen, some car issues, I don't know, just like, I have funny stories, I have a whole list of things to talk about, so there's other things beside the breakup. Obviously the breakup is fresh, it is fresh as Febreze, as they like, I'm gonna have to cut that. The breakup is fresh, so it's better to talk about now. Yeah, leave me in the comments, what do you want? Do you want me to wrap it up, or do you want me to continue with other stuff and then come back to the breakup series? That's a question for all 3 of my subscribers. Give me a shout, and thank you for coming out. My cat is in the sink, so that's all. Thanks for coming out, and this has been Tony Talks.